Jim Payne on WESH 2 News. Starts now with breaking news.
The breaking news now at 4. President Joe Biden has unveiled new sanctions on Russia. In an address to the nation, he said American troops are moving closer to Ukraine and called today the beginning of a Russian invasion. NBC's Alice Barr explains what happens next. We know the crisis in Ukraine appears to be escalating by the second. Our team is staying on top of the latest developments here in the U.S. and overseas. We're not on air. We've always got the latest updates inside of WESH.com. More breaking news, this time out on the road. The I-4 exit ramp on Lee Road has been shut down due to a motorcycle crash. This is an already busy intersection, and this crash is creating some huge backups for the evening commute. We will let you know once we get more details from the Florida Highway Patrol. Some residents of Volusia County found anti-Semitic propaganda dropped off outside of their homes on Monday. National experts say it's part of a monthly campaign that's hitting cities across the country. WESH News' Amanda Dukes explains. Tonight on WESH News at 6, they were children with big dreams, dreams that will never come true.
This was a preventable death.
It's part one of a two-part WESH 2 investigation into the state's child welfare system. The failures one local police chief exposes amid the deaths of several children at the hands of their parents, and how it's spurring statewide change. Just minutes ago, Florida lawmakers started discussing the controversial Don't Say Gay bill. Yesterday, we told you about a new controversial amendment that critics say would allow schools to out LGBTQ students. But today, just moments before lawmakers took to the House floor, the bill's sponsor withdrew that change. WESH News' Marlene Martinez joins us now live with what happens next. Marlene.
Well, this Don't Say Gay bill has caused a lot of controversy, not just statewide, but across the country. Lawmakers are expecting to vote on it this Thursday. I asked Representative Harding today why he withdrew his amendment. Just 30 minutes ago, he sent us this statement that reads in part, all the amendment did was create procedures around how, when long information was withheld from parents so that there was a clear process and kids knew what to expect. Nothing in the amendment was about outing a student. He says rather than battling over the amendment, he's deciding to focus on the primary bill itself. Stu?
Marlene, thank you. Law enforcement across several Central Florida counties are stepping up patrols tomorrow morning. You can expect to see more officers and deputies in Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties as part of Operation Best Foot Forward. They're cracking down on drivers who do not yield or stop for pedestrians at crosswalks. Drivers who violate crosswalk rules may be given a warning or face a $164 fine and 3 points on their license. Still ahead on WESH News at 4, why people all around the world are celebrating something that won't happen again for more than a decade. But first,
how could rising sea levels impact communities across the country? We're going to show you with this tape measure when our Forecasting Our Future investigation continues, coming up.
And it feels downright spring-like out there this afternoon. Take a look at these temperatures across Central Florida. Currently 82 degrees in Leesburg, 83 in Orlando, and 83 in Ocala. I'll let you know when we jump from spring-like temperatures to summer-like temperatures. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
These children once had dreams from going to Yale and becoming a police officer. Dreams that now will never be realized.
This was a preventable death.
In a two-part WESH 2 investigation, we explore the failures within Florida's child welfare system.
When you're not doing a thorough investigation, you're putting children's lives at risk.
Plus, see how new changes are aimed at protecting kids from tragedy.
Gives me hope for the future that we'll never see this happen again.
Tonight at 6, only on WESH 2 News.
We have new details on that breaking crash we told you about at the top of the show. We've now learned the motorcycle crash on the exit ramp of I-4 eastbound at Lee Road is deadly. Troopers gave us the update just a few moments ago. You can see extensive damage to the building as well. That's at the Denny's at Lee Road. We are still working to find out more information. We'll bring it to you coming up on WESH 2 News. Now to an investigation you'll only see here on WESH 2. This year, we're going in-depth into how a changing climate and increasingly severe weather is impacting our Central Florida community and around the country. Our National Investigative Unit is traveling across America, spotlighting the perils and promise for our families and for future generations. And our Forecasting Our Future series does not end here. For a look at projected climate changes in our area and how you can do your part, visit WESH.com. Want to shift focus, talk about your local weather for today, and we are getting close to near record highs. Meteorologist Cam Tran joins us now. Cam, it was a beautiful day across Central Florida.
Yes, it felt very spring-like today, and it's going to feel more like summer-like conditions by late week. Here's a live look outside at our Lake Eola Tower Camper. You see the gorgeous sunshine out there, a nice shot of downtown Orlando and the Amway Center. All that sunshine allowed us to warm up quite nicely. Look at this. We are in the low 80s for interior locations. Currently 83 in Orlando, 82 in Leesburg, 81 in Sanford, in the upper 70s along the coastlines there. And that's thanks to this east-southeasterly flow. We can see bringing a nice breeze out of the east-southeast about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Taking a look at our visible satellite, you notice a few clouds out this afternoon, especially for areas Orlando on southward. But those clouds not producing any rain showers, though. Here's a look at our radar out this afternoon. All is pretty quiet. You would likely see this green out here across the Cape. This is actually a fire that's been burning on and off since the lunchtime hour. You can see a lot of smoke with this. And again, with that east-southeasterly flow, that smoke is moving up to the north towards Mims, Titusville, even Scottsmore. So if you smell that smoke or you see that in the air, that is likely due to this fire burning just west of the Kennedy Space Center. This evening, it's going to be a clear night out there, so a nice night if you have dinner out on the town. Pleasant conditions in the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning, though, with the winds calming down, we will see some light patchy fog to start off the morning, so just be mindful of that as you head out on the roadways early Wednesday. Speaking of early Wednesday, here's a look at your temperatures tomorrow morning. A very mild start with temperatures in the mid to low 60s, upper 50s for areas up to the north. And as we look ahead tomorrow, look how we crank up the heat. High temperatures tomorrow climbing into the mid to even upper 80s for interior locations, while our coastal spots will be seeing highs in the low 80s, all thanks to that southeasterly flow. So tomorrow's going to be a great day to get outside, but just make sure you stay hydrated. Definitely need the shades out there if you're heading out to the theme parks tomorrow. It's going to be warm and sunny out, and this is all courtesy of high pressure and control. You can see a warm day ahead tomorrow with that strong high over us. As it shifts off to the east, we're going to see more of a southeasterly flow pumping in that warm air our way, and then by Friday, a south, even southwesterly flow continuing to pump in that warm air. In fact, it's going to get downright hot by the time we get into late week. Look at our forecast highs, how they keep trending on the upward here. By Friday, I'm looking at a high of 89 degrees. Our record for Friday is 90. So I think out of these 5 days this week, the closest day where we could hit that record will be on Friday. And I think we could be really, really close. Even as we go into the weekend, with that high still in control, we are going to stay dry and very, very warm through the upcoming weekend, which is great news if you have outdoor plans. Can't watch out for a spot shower late day Sunday. But again, most of the weekend is looking dry. Here's a look at the weekend forecast. Check mark both weekend days because, again, both weekend days are looking pretty nice, but again, on the warm side, though. And then finally, we break this weather pattern as we go into early next week. We have a front that's going to be moving in on Monday, and that's going to drop our temperatures down a little closer to where we should be this time of year. Look at that highs for next week in the 70s, 74 your high on Monday, 77 the high on Tuesday. If you're not a big fan of this abnormally warm conditions, I'll talk more about that cool down we're expecting next week. That's coming up next time I see you at 4:47.
Don't want to hear anything about cool downs, Cam. Thank you. Still ahead, what happened so quickly in a clothing store, the employees did not even have time to react. And the U.S. women's national soccer team just scored a goal for the generations to come. How their tenacity is changing the game. But first, what caused a woman to lash out at a mom in a drive-through line? Next. Still ahead, in a new half hour of WESH News at 4, the power of social media, how TikTok and Instagram are becoming a local agency's most helpful tools. And WESH News is inside the courtroom as a jury deliberates the fate of an accused serial killer. We have a live report after this break.
WESH 2 traffic is driven by Toyota Orlando and Toyota Claremont.
WESH 2 News continues.
A man accused of killing 3 women in Daytona Beach is waiting for the jury to decide his fate.
That jury panel was instructed on the law this morning and has been deliberating for roughly 7 hours at this point. WESH News' Dave McDaniel is live in Daytona Beach with the latest for us. Dave.
Stuart, it's been a decade and a half since these 3 murders in Daytona Beach, and Robert Hayes was a college student in Daytona Beach at that time. Those 3 murder cases are now in the hands of the jury as they deliberate because of a DNA link from a more recent case.
Today, the 3 Georgia men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery were found guilty of committing a hate crime and other charges. The jury found father and son Greg and Travis McMichael and their neighbor William Bryan guilty of all the federal charges they individually faced. That includes hate crimes and attempted kidnapping. Tomorrow, it will be 2 years since the three chased a 25-year-old black man while he was jogging in their neighborhood, and Travis shot and killed him. The Arbery family was cheering as they walked out of court today. They thanked everyone who supported them, calling this a long and stressful fight.
Well, one thing I want to say, I'm thanking everybody who that stood by us in this time, what my family was going through, losing Ahmaud. Because Ahmaud was a kid you can't place. Right. Because the heart he had, that will be missed by him.
The McMichaels and Brian are already serving life in prison for murdering Arbery. They'll be sentenced on these federal charges at a later date.
The Manatee County man photographed carrying House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's lectern during the Capitol riot will be sentenced this week. 36-year-old Adam Johnson pleaded guilty to 1 count of entering or remaining in a restricted building. Justice Department prosecutors are arguing he should spend 90 days in federal prison. A plea agreement also recommends that he pays $500 in restitution for damage. He'll be sentenced on Friday morning.
A big win off the field for the United States women's national team and women's soccer players everywhere. The organization reached an agreement with U.S. Soccer after suing the organization for gender discrimination over equal pay.
So from now on, the women athletes will be paid just as much as the men. WESH 2's Kelsey Thorne joins us live now with details. Kelsey.
Hey, Michelle, yeah, this really is a big day for soccer here in the U.S. After years of litigation between the players and the U.S. Federation, they have reached this settlement of $24 million. And in addition to that, they've also agreed to pay the men's players and the women's players equal moving forward.
Kelsey, thank you. Queen Elizabeth is still experiencing mild coronavirus symptoms. She canceled all her online engagements today. The Queen tested positive on Sunday. Remember, she's 95 years old, and the diagnosis prompted both concerns and well wishes across the world. She is fully vaccinated and boosted. Buckingham Palace says she will continue with light duties at Windsor Castle. A slice of classic rock history is up for sale in Brevard County. Lead singer for The Doors, Jim Morrison's childhood home is on the market.
Our Scott Heidler spoke with the listing agent about who he believes could scoop up the property.
A reminder that any AT&T device you have that runs on 3G network will no longer work after today. The company is shutting down 3G, making room for 4 and 5G. This impacts everything from old cell phones to home security alarms and even certain medical devices. To move more mobile customers over to 4G, the company has been giving free replacement phones to certain users. T-Mobile and Verizon will follow suit later this year.
Today is one of our favorite days here at WESH 2. February 22nd, 2022 is dubbed as Tuesday, and this week will actually be a palindrome. That's a word, verse, sentence, or number that reads the same backward or forward. But today stands out, well, because it is Tuesday. And as NBC's Joe Fryer reports, the internet has decided it is cause for celebration. And the Tuesday celebrations are also happening here in Central Florida. Coming up on WESH 2 News at 5, we'll introduce you to a couple who got married at 2:22 p.m.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of numbers, you know.
That whole story was just a lot.
It's too much.
It'll
be oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Coming up after the break, using apps to find your match, but we're not talking about dating.
Learn about the life rolling their way into your heart.
And before we go to break, here's a look at our Tower Cam network. How much heat is on tap for Central Florida? That's coming up next.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Safe Touch Security.
WESH 2 celebrates Black History Month.
I'm Summer Knowles. Jerry Callahan was born in 1883 in South Carolina. He attended medical school at Shaw University before moving to Central Florida in 1908. At age 25, he became the first Black doctor to open up his own practice and first to perform surgery at what is now Orlando Health. In his honor, this community center was designated in his name.
This Black History Moment on WESH 2 is sponsored by your local AMCO dealers.
This Is Us is back with a brand new episode tonight, co-written by one of the show's stars.
Mark Barger spoke with the actress who plays Beth about the unique opportunity. And This Is Us airs tonight at 9 o'clock, right after new episodes of American Auto and Grand Crew. It's followed by New Amsterdam at 10, and then WESH 2 News at 11.
United Launch Alliance is planning its next Atlas V launch 1 week from today. The rocket will launch geostationary operational environment satellites for NASA and NOAA. A 2-hour launch window opens at 4:38 p.m. next Tuesday, March 1st. We will bring you that launch when it happens right here on WESH 2 News at 4. A quick traffic alert out of Daytona Beach shores. The Amelia Avenue beach ramp in the southern part of the city will be closed to traffic Thursday morning. Pedestrians will still have a path to get through. It will reopen later in the evening.
All right, stop what you're doing for just a moment and check out this drone video out of South Florida. You can see a hammerhead shark making itself pretty comfortable around a couple of Palm Beach paddle boarders. So the shark didn't seem to be fazed by them, but it did check them out a couple of times. And just look at the size of the animal compared to their boards. The drone pilot posted this video online asking the question, what would you do if this submarine came under you? That is a big boy.
That is a big boy. You need to get out of the water.
Yes.
Let's talk now about your forecast. A lot of people will be flocking to the beach over the next few days.
Oh, yeah. Cam, we are turning up the heat here.
Yes, we did. And we turned up the heat today. Look at how hot we got today. Orlando, we topped out at 86 degrees this afternoon. That's just 2 degrees shy from matching our record high for today. Leesburg got pretty toasty as well. Low 80s there, as well as in DeLand, and 79 in Melbourne this afternoon. Even right now, we're still hanging on to that heat. Currently in the low 80s for interior locations, while our coastal spots hang on into the mid to upper 70s. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, it is dry out there and clear as we go into the afternoon. So if you have any dinner plans for tonight, you are going to be in great shape weather-wise. Tonight's going to be a mild night. We'll be dropping down into the upper 50s to a low 60s tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to be cranking up the heat even more so than today. In fact, here's a look at what you can expect for tomorrow morning. When you wake up and walk out the door, we are talking about temperatures in the mid 60s across the metro, upper 50s, low 60s up to the north with light winds. We could see some patchy fog as you wake up and head out the door. So just be mindful of that before you head out tomorrow morning. And then look at this. You will need the shades and short sleeves. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon will be climbing into the upper 80s for interior spots. Even our coastal locations will be climbing into the low 80s. Keep in mind, our normal high for this time of year should be right around 76. So we are running way above average, especially with that southeasterly breeze coming in about 5 to 15 miles per hour. If you're lucky enough to have tomorrow off, it will definitely going to be a great day to lounge out by the pool. We've got nice weather for you. Just make sure you put on that sunscreen out there. UV index will be on the high side. So why are we so hot this week? The reason why is we have this ridge in the mid-low atmosphere. And as it does so, that's build to near record highs this week. Here's a look. So tomorrow, looking at a high of 87, 88 by 30. Best shot at getting either close to tying that record, because our record for Friday is around 90 degrees. So again, unseasonably warm. We're literally jumping from winter to spring-like temperatures and then summer-like temperatures by late week. Looking ahead for the weekend, it's going to be nice to get outside. I know it's only Tuesday, but never early enough to look at the weekend. Both weekend days looking absolutely gorgeous. But again, on the warm side, did put that 10% chance of rain in on Sunday, but it's not going to be until really late. And again, very, very isolated. So this week will be the hottest week of the year, but finally we break that weather pattern as we go into early next weekends. We have a front that comes through, and that's going to bring in some cooler temperatures for our coastal locations. So this week will be a perfect week to make it a beach week. Here's a look at your forecast, New Smyrna Beach over the next 7 days. Look at how we climb into the low 80s, then drop down to the upper 60s to low 70s for early next week. Here's a look at the extended weather forecast for the metro. It is going to be hot late week and then staying very warm into the weekend. And then we do have that front that finally breaks our weather pattern, brings us much more seasonable temperatures for early next week. Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi's coming up at 5, talking more about this near record-breaking heat that we're expecting this week. That's coming up at 5.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Cool Today.
I'm Gary Bosses with Orlando Dodge. The WESH 2 Tower Cam Network is sponsored by Orlando Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Orlando on West Colonial Drive, or find your new ride online at orlandododge.com.
It's only February, but the White House just released its 2022 Christmas ornament. It's a gingerbread version of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, adorned with candy canes, mints, and gumdrops. The ornament actually honors President Nixon and his wife Pat, since they started the tradition of having gingerbread on display at the White House. Each one will sell for about $25. It's still February, but tonight we're getting a look at a sweet celebration. March is Women's History Month, and Hershey's is celebrating in a sweet way.
That's right. So, like we said, next month is celebrating women, and Hershey's released a chocolate bar called Celebrate She. It comes with a wrapper celebrating the impact of women and girls. Hershey's is among only a handful of Fortune 500 companies led by women. It was named #1 on the world's top female-friendly companies list by Forbes last year. Things like equal pay, career development, and other initiatives to support women factor into that list.
Everyone's favorite aardvark is saying goodbye. The beloved PBS animated kids show Arthur aired its final episode after 25 seasons. The show began in 1996. Arthur's not going away completely. PBS says reruns will still be available on PBS Kids, and new content, including a podcast, will be rolling out later this year.
WESH 2 News at 5 is straight ahead.
Here's what's coming up in our next hour. We are following some breaking news. The U.S. ordering sanctions against Russia as Moscow begins to invade Ukraine. The message tonight from President Biden.
And after a lot of criticism, a new amendment to the Don't Say Gay bill has been withdrawn. The ongoing discussion now in the State House.
Plus, a mom searching for answers after her son was killed in a deadly shooting gets an opportunity she's not had before. WESH News at 5 is next.